Hey guys, welcome back to another Skyrim mods video. Today I got a handful of new mods that I think you guys might end up enjoying. Of course they're nothing massive, but definitely some fun additions to your Skyrim that might bring it to new immersion levels or break your mod list. It pretty much depends on how lucky you are, I guess. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that like button down below because I really appreciate it. And also please make sure you endorse mod authors because they work hard to make us free mods. But without further ado, let's dive right in. The first mod up mostly aimed at the volcanoes around Skyrim. This mod is called Subtleties of Skyrim. And when I say volcanoes around Skyrim, I do want to point out I have no idea if there are more than one, or we could just see the same one from both Solstheim and Skyrim. This mod adds running lava to the volcano, so it's not just smoke coming from it. But of course it's best if you combine them with Rudy HQ's more dramatic red mountain plum to get the full effect of the active volcano look that this mod was going for. I also believe that was the mod author's original intentions as well, but this one is not needed to use the other one. As I mentioned, you can now see this volcano on both Skyrim and Solstheim, but this mod also added a little miscellaneous lodge ship. They are very far out and kind of hard to notice, especially when you think about the fact 9 times out of 10 your lodges won't go that far. But here's a close up of the ship in case you were wondering what it looks like. Up next, a new island and a new dungeon mod. This mod is called Ysmir's Tears. To get to this new dungeon, you first have to find the abandoned rowboat, which has its own map marker once you find it. It won't be there as soon as you load the game, but it's pretty simple to find. Aside from the dungeon, the atmosphere of this new island is simply amazing, but I expect nothing less considering this is from FuzzBeed. Such as adding destroyed ruins, but not too much is considered a threat here. It gives the feeling that this is a peaceful place that you can come and just enjoy with this beautiful scenery. Like in a horror movie that starts off good and everyone having fun until they end up exploring where they shouldn't be, which in this mod's case will be the actual dungeon introduced. This is the vanilla lighting when you first enter, but there is a Lux patch, and considering I use Lux in every one of my mod lists, we'll be going with that for the showcase. But just showing the comparisons in case you happen to not be using Lux. This dungeon isn't a massive 3-hour dungeon that you can get lost in. Honestly, it's actually pretty simple. No massive puzzles, just you going into a dungeon, seeing bodies laying on the ground, and knowing you're going to have to fight for your life. And you definitely will if you come here unprepared. But it's definitely a good thing you watched this video before you downloaded this mod, so now you'll know to come prepared to fight. And also, not saying that you should, but this mod is definitely a mod you could add mid-game if you want it. But moving on to our next mod, a new interior mod, and another addition to the Snazzy Interior series. This one is called Snazzy Interiors Dawnstar Brina's House. When this mod came out, the Snazzy Interiors patch collection also updated, so no wait was really needed before installing this, because it already came with the full suite of patches you would need. Or at least for me that I would need, which is mainly just a Lux patch. Because this mod completely revamps the interior, giving her a sort of upstairs bedroom, but along with that upstairs bedroom, if we can call it that, kind of an attic, there's also the main room that was overhauled. This is still a small home though, it didn't turn it into a mansion because that's kind of what Snazzy Interior does. Up next, another location overhaul, and one by FuzzBeed for Shearpoint. This mod is called Shearpoint Sanctuary. And vanilla Shearpoint is just an empty mountain ledge which has a boss fight, kinda like the Ebony Warrior, but honestly, someone in the comments actually said that has a point of being like that in Skyrim. It's done on purpose. But honestly, I always felt like this place needed an overhaul with it being so empty, and this one is just the right change, for me at least. This mod makes the location seem at least just a little more important than what is already in vanilla. The boss fight is left the same, which is vanilla, only the environment was changed, so no patches should really be needed for this, besides that there was already a Lux Orbis patch made and a few other ones. The best part about this overhaul, besides the fact that this place kind of feels intimidating now, is that the overhaul was done without destroying my FPS, which is always the main thing that I'm looking for. Now for a new must-have gameplay mod, at least for me. This mod is called Collectibles Helper. This mod does exactly as the name suggests, allowing for you to use this mod MCM to customize which collectible quests you want to focus on and get quest markers for. Or if you prefer, you can even disable the quest entirely, if you prefer that. Honestly, I've never done the Stones of Baron Zaya quest, hopefully I said that right, But maybe with this mod, I'll be able to do it, and without stressing that I might have missed one of the stones or another collectible item needed for one of the other quests that I haven't done either. You can have this mod set up so that it will activate whenever you are in the cell of one of the collectibles. It will appear on your compass leading you to it. Or you can just have it always active on your map, letting you know the location of every single collectible item. But I highly recommend the first option, because at least with the first option, you can still play how you want without worrying about collecting the items, so you can pretty much play exactly how you want to. How Skyrim was pretty much meant to be played in 2024. This is definitely a mod you add to your list and forget until you realize just how useful it can be. Up next is Simple Weapon mod with the name Dragon Halberds and Great Swords. Major disclaimer here though, I checked this mod ESP and there should be swords, but no matter what I did in game I couldn't find the great swords, and that item menu only detected the halberds, and so there was nothing really I can do. So this mod at base adds 2 halberds, 1 silver, 1 copper, and both can be crafted at a forge with the ebony smithing part. Or you can find them in the level list on anything dangerous enough to use ebony. This also at base doesn't have a patch for animated armory, so they will use vanilla animations, which is the battle axe animations, and mines come from For Honor Griffin if you are wondering. But of course, I'll still answer questions in the comments. Up next, a new furniture mod for the common beds. This mod is called Peasant Dreams, a common bed replacer. This is a continuation of furniture overhauls by Subtleties, with no common title honestly. But as you can see, this overhauls the normal beds you'll find in regular inns or just normal NPC homes that aren't rich. If you want rich people beds or just high-end inn beds, you should grab their other mod, Ignoble Beds, which I currently use right now, so this honestly just kind of completed this set for me. This mod has an optional file as well that kind of expands on it, adding support for the mod Use Those Blankets by J Serpa, which I actually highly recommend to use with this. The only disclaimer I can give about the Use Those Blankets patch is that it only works with the base version where every cover is the same color, but there's a second option for this mod, using Base Object Swapper to add color to the beds. So essentially, you can either let NPCs use covers and yourself if you have a mod for it optionally, or you can get the color variants. Maybe one day we'll get a patch that lets us use color variants with Use Those Blankets, but for now it's one or the other. And now for our next mod called Serene Grasslands. A new grass mod that honestly isn't getting as much attention as I thought it would. And maybe that's because people are already comfortable with their grass mod, so I guess why try another? But I'm here to tell you, you're definitely wrong. This grass mod is actually amazing. I was surprised when I used this in my game. I didn't expect it to look that good in my game, or really that good at all from the screenshots on the mod page, because I'm not using complex grass either, but this definitely exceeded all my expectations. Also, I'm not using complex grass because I hate it, honestly, but this grass does have a patch for it if you happen to be using it for whatever reason. I myself personally instead use Grass Sampler Fix by Duelim, which fits this perfectly and is actually recommended. With this new grass overhaul, you get lush landscapes or even dead landscapes because this fits vanilla Skyrim perfectly, but instead it also enhances on it to make it more beautiful, and at the cost of barely any FPS. I might even make the switch because it's a win-win either way. But honestly, that's probably just a modder's high. When you see something new and amazing, you immediately want it, even if it destroys your list. But that was pretty much it for today, guys. I hope you ended up enjoying this video and maybe found a mod that you liked. And if you did and maybe download one of those mods, make sure you endorse mod authors. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace and love, guys.